Alright, welcome back everyone. It is LaughNgamez here. I'm back, and we are going to be doing something we have not done in a minute. It is time for Probots. We wrapped up the Final Alpha Star video, the Final Alpha Star replay, and pretty much as usual, everyone says, well, how about some Probots? So, here we are going to be casting some more of these community-developed StarCraft 2 bots, which are just all over the board. It's awesome, and you see a lot of hard work that was put into these bots, and they create some wacky StarCraft. So I'm excited to see this one. We have got 2 body boys. In the top right is 7, which apparently is a follow-up to Queen Bot, so we can imagine this bot is going to make some queens. And all I know about this bot down here in the bottom left is that it was created by Phantom. So yeah, casting some more bot games. These are always fun to do. If you do any sort of programming, I'm very, very, very novice. But you can sort of see, the logic and how programmers go about solving the problems that you run into when you do something as complex as programming a StarCraft 2 bot. So yeah, let's take a look here. We have got 2 Zerg bots. Bots generally have more variation than, of course, Alpha Star agents or players do, because players sort of agree on a consensus of the best way to do things, whereas bots, there's some good variation in how you can actually control your units, what sort of logic you're going to try and have your bot go off of. And so just the fact that bots are programmed by 2 different people means that they're very, very different. Like, right now, what do we got going on here? Is this guy going to build a spine crawler or something? Nope, he just wanted to return those minerals. Okay, then. So, we have got ourselves a triple hatch play from 7. That's what you'd expect, I think, from a bot that's going to be making queens, presumably. Actually, a 4th hatchery going up. Very greedy play. You think that this might be susceptible to some sort of cheese? Of course, cheese when it comes to Probots is much harder, much more difficult to fine-tune. Of course, you can program a bot to go about certain rushes, but when it runs into different situations, that's where they sort of lose their killer's edge, and it's a little bit less efficient with the damage that gets done, and then a pure macro bot like 7 could potentially just power on through. So, without further ado, though, ladies and gentlemen, make sure to go ahead and slap that like button if you want to see more of these replays of bots being cast. If you want to see more just general StarCraft 2 on the channel, I'm going to try and stream more stuff like that. Crawling out of the void? No, not the void. Just, you know, I've just been busy and stuff. The motivation to make videos waxes and wanes like the moon. Yeah. But I always do love it when I get into the StarCraft rhythm. So, we have got triple queen production coming out of the queen bot. Surprise, surprise. I'm not sure what this gas is going to be for. Presumably a lair, if I had to take a guess. I'm really not sure what it's actually going to need a lair for if you're just making queens. I guess to potentially get upgrades later. Or the gas could be for, like, +1 or for Carapace or something like that. So, we have got Rasputin putting some pressure on, which is an awesome name for a bot, by the way. Rasputin putting some pressure on with these lings, and up against just queens, lings actually do pretty good, pound for pound. So what we see right now is 7 just trying to rally a queen to defend the space, but I don't think that's going to work out too well. This queen, she could be in trouble if these lings decide to dive on in. There is some serious ling derpage here going on by Rasputin, just, I guess, the lings in somewhat of a harass mode, trying to find opportunity, not meeting the requirements to take a fight or whatever. Now we see burrows on the way for 7, so gonna be using the gas to get that, probably to save queens when they're in a tricky spot. We see these lings are running around, but they're really not getting too much done, as per expected. It's very hard to program a bot to go up against another bot that just builds queens, and you probably don't even think about it. You just go for general good behavior, which leads to things like this, as these bots soar in their APM, cruising at a casual 20,000 apiece. More and more lings on the way here for Rasputin. Looks like these lings are actually going to engage these queens. I'm curious about what made them decide to engage now, whether it's just a pure numbers thing, Let's see. These Lings are going to be able to pick off those 2 queens and then get on out of there. We'll see if they're going to be looking for more damage or something like that. Burrow's not yet done, so these queens can't save themselves. Looks like, yeah, another queen going to get surrounded. These Lings are getting a lot of work done as 7 is just continuously producing more and more queens while this is going on. More hatcheries planned to go up, but so far these Lings, these Ravagers, are really just putting the pressure on, and the bot that's just making queens is having a bit of a tough time. 5 queens are out, but that number's rapidly falling as the Lings are killing off more and more. And you wonder if this bot is just never going to hit that critical mass it needs. It's trying to get up more hatcheries than it actually is, as it's just going to be producing more and more of these queens. +1s on the way, but then so is +1 for Rasputin, which is really just playing kind of like a standard Zerg behind this, as it's got a lair on the way, a Hydra Den, just teching up, that sort of thing. Having success with this push that really doesn't have that many units involved, but still turns out a few units really beats queens for the most part. Queen pops out, but she's probably just gonna die. Couple roaches are actually being made here by 7, which is interesting. I guess this is the successor part to Queen bot actually producing some defensive units, realizing that maybe queens just don't cut it. I'm interested to see if it's just going to go all roaches from here on out, or if its behavior is going to change too much, but all of a sudden this game just got a whole lot more interesting. As now it's just like a normal ZVZ, roaches for days. We take a look. There is indeed an Overlord, a Dropper Lord getting produced by 7. I wonder if that's going to be to shuttle queens or not, but yeah, all of a sudden, using its mass production, its mass economy, 7 was able to get out a good amount of units. Really, it's not a mass economy, it's mass production, as some drones did go down there. We'll see if it's going to replace those. For now, though, it's just units for days. 7 utilizing that burrow, but burrow does not save you from corrosive vials. Roaches engaging each other. It looks like 7 does have the numbers advantage. Rasputin's getting up its own good economy, but the army supply is really, really down for Rasputin. We'll see if 7's going to try and push its advantage. Still getting used to commentating with these braces in my mouth, guys. Hopefully there isn't too much of a difference. Sometimes I just find myself trying to say a word, and I'm like, why was that word so difficult to say, you know? You know? Okay, we've got 2-1 on the way for Rasputin. But, yeah, I mean, we've seen a lot of Zergs in the history of Starcraft 2 just die to mass roaches in a ZVZ. Who's got the more roaches? Turns out it's 7 right now. And the roach count is very much ahead, 100 army supply ahead, so the creator of this bot just saying, all right, we'll use queens at first to defend, and then we're gonna use our mass production just to shoot out roaches. Just shoot out roaches. And all of a sudden, yeah, Rasputin's in a lot of trouble. If there's mutas here, I'd say that's good, but there isn't. And as long as 7 continues to attack on in, and the attacking behavior does seem to be pretty decent. Not dilly-dallying too much, no major derpage or anything like that. As this fight's occurring, it's still burrowing its injured roaches, and yeah, this is just looking like it's gonna be nights out or lights out for Rasputin. I mean, Rasputin went for a much more generalized play, but turns out 7, just with the queen opening into mass roach, did pretty darn well. And like, I know bots sometimes have dirt, so there can be comebacks and stuff like that. The game isn't really over. But when you're down 120 supply at this point, and the roach train showing no sign of stopping, I really don't know what to say. I must say that the behavior from 7 seems to be pretty good. Just basic burrow movement, or basic burrow, and then to keep the roaches alive, and then just a good attack. Like, it's got units sort of moving around a little bit. The behavior seems to be really smart from both these bots, but then just the numbers on the side of 7. And really, it has been quite a few months since I last cast pro bots, and as the bots have just got better and better over time, programmers have produced better and better bots, it really is impressive to see how the behavior of these has improved again and again. Yeah, we see 7, while it's producing roaches, its behavior does not chill. It's just continuing to throw up more and more hatcheries. That's 85% of the map covered in creep. How did you let that happen? 7 with the BM Zerg bot. Even marching the queens across the map. Rasputin's got its own creep, but where does the creep start here for 7? The answer is, okay, it's not actually got creep that far over here. Where's your own creep? Okay, there is 7's creep. So this is where the creep meet. As these two bots have the creep creeping on the creep. Yeah, Rasputin's pretty much a dead nerd, dead Zerg here. But yeah, this was a really good game. So ladies and gentlemen, make sure to go ahead and hit that like button. Another thing to note really is that it is cool that bots do just continue with their behavior, continue expanding, even though the game's sort of won. Human players definitely don't behave like that, in which we sort of have a mental note in our brain, okay, this is how many bases I want to take. No, 7 does not care. 7 bases is not enough. It wants 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 10? 10 bases? That's 3 more than 7, guys. But yeah, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Let me know in the comments down below. Say more bots. Spell more and bots however you want. Spam it if you will. But yeah, that is great for the YouTube algorithm, and it really lets me know you guys want to see more of these games, as there's a lot of bots out there to cast, and now we just wait for 7 to utilize its queens from where it started. APM very high still. Rasputin not giving up even though it's down to 10 supply. Where that 10 supply is? 3 roaches, a ravager, holding down the fort. No drones though, so that's it.